how does that song make you feel? For some of you, I imagine you feel absolutely nothing at all. Then there will be the few of you that dislike it and can't stand the song. The few that like it, maybe want to understand where it's from, maybe have heard it before but they can't picture where they've heard it. But for some of you, you're thinking about killing slimes as a magician. You've just turned level 8. You've maybe made friends of people that you're never going to meet again, running quests and doing party quests with people online. This is what I would refer to as the golden age of MapleStory, my very first MMORPG. There are many songs that will trigger those thoughts in people's head, whether it's Sea Shanty 2 from Old School RuneScape, or what about the bellowing tunes from Stormwind from classic World of Warcraft when you step into the city for the first time? Or hell, even the login theme for Fly for Fun, if you've ever played that. Music has a way of captivating our soul, speaking to us, and reminding us of distant memories. It just so happened that the sound developers and the sound designers behind old school MMORPGs just happened to be really good at it as well. But you did click on this video to answer a question. Why do we love old school MMOs so much?
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Throne of Liberty video.
This video will help you to level up your alt army from kills to 80 level in 3 hours or less. I will explain what you exactly need to do to make leveling so much faster and
why. Pause. Doesn't that just make your head hurt? When did gaming get to this stage? There's no time to enjoy the journey ahead of you. In my opinion, MMOs nowadays are slowly progressing to be more instant solo-based content. And sure, that might not be a bad thing for some people, but in my opinion that's not just a massively multiplayer online game, that's just an online game which has a lot of people playing it. These games, they have group finders, raid finders and party options, but how much of that really matters anymore? How much of that are you going to be spending time and interacting and playing with other people? You don't form relationships anymore, you just go in, do your daily quests and get straight out again. A lot of the discussions around older MMOs is that we ignore the problems they had because we're too wound up in nostalgia. I don't think we just love old school MMOs because of nostalgia. The previous interlude is a clear example why. Nowadays, we're drip-fed content, made to feel like we will miss out on the best gear if we don't participate in an event daily for a month straight. You can also grind for gear and materials, only for them to not enchant your item, or even break it, causing your progression to halt. This isn't to say old school MMOs didn't have their own problems, but all of the problems of today, like low-budget, garbage content, the race to endgame, the over-monetization of cash shops and items within them, recycled garbage events, dwindling player counts, and just lacking social features. How much of this really affected older MMOs? The truth is, most of what I've just said can't be attributed to our memories and the time spent in those older games. Developers and publishers weren't just in it for the money and greed, they actually cared and developed meaningful content for their players. They spent time creating interesting events, interesting boss fights, collaborations with other media, but most of all, they wanted it to be played in a social manner with other players. The content was tailored around this. Like, take Final Fantasy XI as an example. Sure, you could play solo for like the first 10 or so levels, but after that the game was designed to be played with a party of people. The other piece of the pudding is our natural instinct to not want to miss out. Nowadays, MMOs have latched onto the fact that we as humans tend to not want to miss out on anything, or the chance to get even stronger. It's why so many MMOs nowadays have limited time events or limited leveling events to get strong quick. Hell, some of them even have overpowered items that can only be collected during a certain event period, and once it's gone until they recycle the event again. Older games actually respect your time as a player. They may have had these limited time events or time sync quests, but how many of them actually punished you for not playing? I think another key part of why our memories of these older MMOs are so great is because there was always a reason to come back. There was always a community playing them. Take guilds, for example. Guilds are a huge part of what makes MMORPGs so special. You get to hang around with, play content with, and then form relationships with a tight-knit community of people. The guild, and I hate myself for saying this, but the guild meta nowadays has shifted in my opinion. I feel like people join guilds just for the benefits they provide, like more XP or more buffs, rather than joining for the people within them. There was also the wider social factor of it too. The hub areas which people just hung out and had conversations in. The actual requirement to type a message and apply for parties, rather than just using looking for group and queuing into them. All of this is what makes those earlier games so special, and it makes them feel like such a connected experience. MMORPGs don't have unlimited content. That content will become stale after a certain period of time, and without a decent community around you as a player, why should you continue investing your time into the game? Every single old school MMORPG had its individuality, charm, and also they were entombed in mystery. Of the 4 MMORPGs I mentioned in the introduction, every single one of them plays differently, and had a following of people that loved the unique features of it. Sometimes a newer MMO would come out of a woodwork and you'd feel excited to play something new and something fresh. Now, the genre is like a dead horse. I don't feel excited by new MMOs anymore. One way or another they look, play, or feel like another MMO that I've played previously. Now, you could argue this isn't inherently the game's fault, but it is what gave older MMOs their charm and the reason why we loved them so much. It also allowed them to innovate and try out new things, something which newer games tend not to do. I'm not sure how many more boss fights I can handle which have a glowing red circle on the floor to show me where to stop standing. I beg you, please stop doing this shit. We desperately need an MMO to come out and innovate, try something new, go against the norm, rather than trying to be the next World of Warcraft killer or something stupid like that. I did say earlier that it's not just nostalgia, but there is also an element of it which causes our love for these older games to never die. They remind us of a time when we ourselves were younger. They remind us of a time when we didn't have to deal with any problems like we do in the adult world. They remind us of a time when the world was a brighter and more energetic place to be around. For most of us, our memories of these games are when we played them as a kid, a young teenager, or some of us were pushing to be young adults. It gives us a glimpse into the past, or like a portal to a distant memory. It's why I opened this video with the music. Older games and the music behind them tends to be what we latch onto the most. If you look at videos of older MapleStory OSTs, the comments will be flooded with people that just have memories of when they played this game, and yeah, all of those were mostly when they were younger. I think our perception of these games and how they played are warped by nostalgia, but in my opinion, that isn't really the main reason for our love for these games. Our love for them is defined by the points I made earlier. I'm not sure why I wanted to make this video. Part of this just feels like a love letter to older MMOs and me moving aside from the genre, but part of me wants to provoke thoughts and cause a change in a genre that is dying a slow, cold and horrible death. MMORPGs are some of my favourite games of all time. The experience I've shared on them and the people I've met have truly sculpted me into the person I am today. I'm still wanting to get the kick that I felt playing these games when I was much younger than I am today. However, I can't help but feel in today's landscape I may be waiting quite a bit longer. I hope there are people out there that share a similar opinion to me. I'd love to hear your take on this topic and share some discussions with you. I also hope that I've helped answer your question, the reason you've clicked on this video. Until then, take it easy, and I'll see you online.